I'm Paige, 27 years old. I'm married to Toby for 3 years, who is 3 years older than me. I work part-time 4 days a week at the local supermarket. What's the definition of a supermarket? It's what you might call more than a local market. It was a lot to learn at first, but now I've gotten used to it. I like my work, and the crew is nice too. Occasionally, some difficult customers give me a hard time. Evening hours are usually busy with the evening sale. The store is often packed with those looking for a big discount. One day, I was putting the discount stickers on some prepared foods. Then a woman in her 40s came up to me and,
"I've got a question for you.
"Yes?"
Can't you put a 50% off sticker on this?"
I get this a lot. They wander around the store until the evening sale starts. I saw her basket full of trays of raw fish, sashimi. Did she bring them from the seafood section? How many is she going to buy? But the evening sale hasn't started yet in the seafood section. We discount raw fish just before the closing time. I'm sorry, but those raw fish are not for discount yet. I tried to be friendly, but the customers started yelling at me.
"Why? What's the difference between this hot food and that? I've been here for an hour. Put the sticker on already."
Does that mean these raw fish sashimi are in her basket for an hour? I'm afraid not. And you can't take food in your basket and put it on hold, ma'am. I was trying to be nice but firm, but she raised her voice.
"What do you mean I put it on hold? I'll buy them all. What's the matter with you?"
Oh dear. The store discounts to eliminate unsold items that go to waste. This completely defeats the purpose. I didn't know what to say to her.
"Now tell me, what time does the sale start? I'll hang out till then, so tell me."
Is she going to keep these fresh fish until then? I'm sorry, ma'am. If you don't purchase them right now, could you put them back in the refrigerated section? Or they may go bad.
"What are you talking about? They would take it if I put them back. I'm going to buy these at half price."
Oh no. What is she saying? I don't think I could talk to her. I don't understand what she's saying. But then, thank goodness, the manager probably heard us and came to the rescue. After the two argued for a while, the woman put the fish back on the shelf and left.
"Give me a break. I won't come back here ever again. Hey you, the girl with bangs, don't you ever forget."
Forget what? She's something, isn't she?
Well, she's a known troublemaker around here.
Is that so?
She would show up at other stores too around this time for a half-price hunting, and she buys only raw fish sashimi.
Maybe she's a crazy cat lady.
Just forget about it. You didn't do anything wrong. Don't worry about it.
Despite the manager's kind words, I was a bit exhausted from being yelled at by a stranger. I couldn't help but vent my frustration to Toby over dinner.
Really? Some customer, huh? You had a long day.
I know. They say the customer is always right, but I can't handle that type. She was really mean. Then Toby came up with a great idea to comfort me.
Your job can be draining. By the way, remember our anniversary's coming up? Forget about the crazy woman. Why don't we have a good time with some great food? How about some sushi? Your favorite.
Oh, I love it. I was instantly transformed into a delighted being. Yay, of course, I can't wait. Toby really knows how to push the right buttons sometimes. So we planned to go to the restaurant he wanted to go to for some time, and the day of our wedding anniversary came. I was supposed to meet Toby at the restaurant after work. Maybe I should have dressed up a little more, but I didn't have time for it. And he said we could dress casually, so I guess this will do. I just touched up my makeup and hurried to the restaurant. He was waiting for me in front of it. He dressed casually too. But no matter how he dresses, he is so cute.
Hey Paige, how was your day? I said casual, but you wear a dress.
Well, it's an everyday dress, but it's our wedding anniversary, so I had to spruce myself up a little.
You look so pretty. I can fall for you all over again.
We then entered the restaurant. As we opened the door, I heard the loud welcome from inside.
Hi, welcome.
Standing behind the counter was an older man who looked like a chef, but he showed his smile only in the beginning. He stared at us up and down, then looked away and said nothing.
We have a reservation.
When Toby said this, the chef ignored that, so I said it too a little louder. "Excuse me, we made a reservation." Finally, a woman showed up from the back.
"You didn't have to shout. An amateur."
What? What's her problem? What's with amateur or pro? We are just customers.
You've never been here, right? People read our reviews and started to flow in, but they don't know how to eat sushi. So annoying.
Huh? I was speechless with her rude attitude.
You two look too young to make much money.
Excuse me? She too looked at us up and down as if she was judging us.
We are not at a cheap restaurant, you know. Will you be okay with that? Do you have money?
Oh, come on. We dress casually, but not shabby. Does she realize we are the customers here? I was thinking for a moment that maybe I met her somewhere before. Oh, no, it's her! She was an obsessive woman with a discount, yet she doesn't seem to recognize me at all. I whispered to Toby, Toby, it's the discount maniac from the other night. And this restaurant. I have a bad feeling about this. But Toby didn't seem to be surprised or mind.
Oh, really? Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
He told me and talked to the woman.
I see. So you're saying we shouldn't be here because we are poor customers, and this is a high-end restaurant. I see. Okay.
Well, you didn't have to spell it out like that.
After hearing Toby's candid comment, she seemed to realize how she was treating us, and he was right to the point.
But today is our wedding anniversary. We heard a good reputation about you, and decided to go for a little extravaganza. We stopped by an ATM, and we have a backup credit card ready. I would like to treat my wife today.
I've noticed a hint of sarcasm in his words. Maybe he has some kind of plan. This can be fun.
All right. Chief, two at the counter, please.
Finally, we were shown to the counter. The chef took a glance at us and tilted his chin toward the end of the counter. That means we should sit down there, doesn't it? I hated his body language. Can't he speak? We finally sat at the counter, but the chef seemed to have no intention of asking us what we wanted. He was very friendly to the other customers, though. The difference in his attitude was clear. I was so irritated, so I spoke up and placed an order myself. Can I have some tuna? 2, please. He looked as if he was disgusted, saying,
Huh? Tuna? Ugh. You poor people don't know anything about how to eat sushi. You ought to start with whitefish, you little girl, and 2 pieces? Here, your food won't come in on the conveyor belt.
Don't I have a right to order what I want to eat and how many? And did he just call me little girl? I'm a 27-year-old woman. He's unbelievable. I love tuna. When I go to a sushi restaurant, I usually eat 10 pieces of tuna. And what is wrong with that? I nearly cried out at his nonsense, but then Toby, who was beside me, whispered in my ear.
Hang on a second, Paige.
So I swallowed my words and tried to calm myself down. He must have a plan. Calm down, Paige.
Here you go. Oh, you ordered 2, right?
He was laughing at me. But as I saw my food in front of me, I couldn't believe my eyes. They used large grain of rice, which was out of proportion to the fish. I thought this was a high-end restaurant, but the way he used a knife was obviously not one of those. I cut fish at my work in the seafood department. There are experienced fish handlers who teach me how to cut and filleting them. This was definitely not how sushi should be made. Not just this one, but all the fish I ordered was cut like sashimi. They weren't very fresh either. Shortly saying, it was bad. Oh no! What I ordered here was the discounted packed sashimi from my supermarket? I get it now. That woman was buying all the discounted fish to serve them at her restaurant. It's unbelievable.
You see? That's the story. They've been deceiving the customers with a straight face. The rumor I heard turned out to be true. They need to learn a lesson.
Okay, that was his plan. I love the plan. And we were going to teach this rude, arrogant, and fake man a lesson. When we were whispering each other planning it, the man glared at us and said,
Hey, you 2 over there. Are you here for chatting or eating?
All right, then I'll have tuna, veggie roll, and cucumber roll, please. He chuckled to hear my order.
Only the poor people who can't tell the difference would order vegetable rolls at a high-end sushi restaurant.
I didn't react at all to that comment and just ate the veggie rolls in front of me. Oh, delicious. This cucumber roll is the best. Is this the most popular dish here?
Huh? Are you kidding me? We serve sushi here. Cucumber roll is the best? You poor couple make me laugh!
This stupid man, he couldn't get enough of ridiculing and judging us. I'm drawing my sword. I said that because the tuna I ate was the price-cut sashimi pack from the supermarket, isn't it? Cucumber roll was much better than the less fresh, raw fish that wasn't even qualified for sushi.
What are you talking about? There's no way I would use those. We're an expensive sushi restaurant. You poor kids don't know what you're talking about.
Really? Then what is this? I took a good look at the piece of tuna. I knew it. When I cut fish, I tend to turn the knife too much at the end so the piece ends up a little thicker. This piece of tuna was exactly like that, thicker on one side. I knew this is a sashimi sold at the corner supermarket. Why do I know this? Because I'm the one who cut it. See here? This is my habit of using a knife. By the way, I've seen your server in the store. She always hangs around the discount section. The woman heard what I said and panicked.
It's you at the supermarket.
You're lying! You're hurting my business! Are you trying to smear us?
He wasn't going to admit it easily. Then why don't you open the fridge behind you and those plastic trays piled up in the trash? That half price off sticker looks very familiar to me.
Well, these are...
Other customers noticed this by now, and now it was Toby's turn.
Why don't you admit it already? You have quite a reputation for some pretty shady business. I heard many stories. By the way, here's my card.
Toby handed his business card to the chef with his title Editor-in-Chief, Gourmet Goers magazine on it. Yes, he is in fact an editor of a food magazine. He reports and writes about restaurants. Sometimes he reports as a secret shopper. He is a talented and popular writer. Occasionally, he encountered a bad seed like this one. Once he saw Toby's business card, the man became a totally different person, very humble.
Gourmet Goers magazine? And you're an editor? Oh, I wish you could have told us in the first place. Please forgive this mishap. If we had known, we could have provided you with the best service. Please come over here in the center, to the chef's counter. Let me start over.
It's too late now. I was stunned by the sudden change in his attitude.
As my wife pointed out, I see you use different ingredients between the VIPs and the first-time customers. Aside from that, pre-packaged sashimi from a supermarket, which is about to expire? This doesn't look good. What do you consider customers? I'm going to report this to the authorities.
And Toby put on a big smile on his face. I know him, he's mad.
Please don't do that! It was a misunderstanding! Please forgive me!
Eek! I'm sorry!
After watching the whole thing, other customers began to head to the door one by one, shouting out, "I'm going to sue you," or "I'm going to tell this to everyone I know." Everyone seemed stunned and complained. It was a matter of time after all. We followed the others and left. Later, the restaurant was exposed for its shady operation and received a mass bashing. Naturally, no one near the restaurant, and soon it went out of business. The chef and the server were secretly a couple, and they planned how to do the business together. They were arrested and spent some time in jail. After they had done their time, they tried to find work to repay the debt, but the scandal spread too far for them to be hired, and the debt didn't help, eventually ended up homeless. What goes around comes around. As for us...
I'm sorry, Paige. I took you to a bad restaurant, and you had to have a terrible time there.
Don't worry about it. Since you took me to different restaurants, I learned a lot.
How would you feel about starting over in an Italian restaurant?
Yay! I would love it. We haven't been to an Italian for a while. You're not going to trick me this time, are you?
Well, actually, the owner's from Sicily, and the business looks like it has mafia ties.
Oh, I see. But it's your work. I'm going.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!